Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with my weekly video for Scrap Backwards. And I kind of wanted to go through, before I do the process for this page, I kind of want to talk a little bit about some reorganizing I did with my kit yesterday and the day before, and kind of where I'm headed for the month of March. For one thing, I went through all of the papers, and you're not seeing this. I'll do a full reveal on in a video on Wednesday. But I went through all the papers and pulled out scraps that I didn't think I would use, and then kind of organized the scraps by size. And I gathered all of the stickers. Then I pulled all the embellishments from all the different little places that I had them, and they ended up in here and in here. And what I did here was take some, I think these are 5x7 stamp organizer envelopes, whatever, and I've kind of separated them out by some categories. I'm going to separate these out to go in here by category. And I have another, and I'll tell you the reason for this. Embellishments are going to be very important over the next month because Calvinball is coming, and I'm going to be doing some traveling, and I need to have a quick and easy way to have a real variety of embellishments with me. So I'll kind of go through what all is in there. I have one other kind of a box of just miscellaneous things that didn't fit with collections or kits or anything that are just kind of tossed in there. I'm going to go through that and take out things that I think I might use and put them in that kit, decide whether to toss or save the other things, but everything is being emptied from that box one way or the other. It's going to either go in my Scrap Backwards kit, go back with some collections or other supplies where they make sense. For instance, if they're travel related, I'll put them in with my travel stuff. If they're beach related, I'll put them in with my beachy stuff, things like that. And then I have another box that is filled with papers that I want to fussy cut designs out of. And there are lots of butterflies and flowers and various other things, including llamas and hedgehogs and sloths, the kinds of things that, and crocodiles and alligators, kinds of things that show up in the rules sometimes randomly in Calvinball. So I'm going to get all those things. I'm going to pull out a reasonable amount of fussy cutting to do. I'll do some of it before the first, and then that box is probably not going to get emptied anytime real soon. And if what's in there now gets emptied, there will be more put in there, so it's never going to get emptied. But the other one is kind of a junk box, and it does need to be emptied. So in addition to reorganizing my kit, I've kind of reorganized my desk. I pulled my other mat, my cutting mat off. The way I have my desk arranged is I have a Ken Oliver craft mat that I can do mixed media on underneath this. And what I typically do is I pull out a Tim Holtz mat and put over this, but I have not ever done a good job of protecting these mats from my mixed media mayhem. and so maybe I'll try to do a little bit better job of that. And I also changed out the things that are in front of me that I can reach easily. I had too much stuff building up over here that was keeping me from having my Scrap Backwards kit, which is always on my desk, at such easy reach. So hopefully I've got things organized in a way that makes it easier for me to get to things I want and easier for you to see what it is I'm doing. I think at the angle that the camera is now, that as long as I keep my work in this center area here, that you can see it. And of course, you know that as long as I'm using my phone and I take my phone out and put it back in and so forth, all that can change. Every time I film, the angle and the placement is different. But big news, I'm going this week to buy the components and to hire the Geek Squad from Best Buy to come and set up a webcam arrangement, a webcam and microphone that will connect to, I'm not sure what, I'm assuming it'll connect to my laptop. And to get it set up so that I know how to have it arranged for both video filming and for lives. And I'm going to start doing more lives on my Scrappy Kathy page in Facebook as soon as I get that all figured out. So that's exciting news. And all of that comes from, I got a gift certificate, a reward certificate, when I bought my new appliances. So that reward certificate should be enough to cover all of that. So getting back to the layout at hand, I decided when I was looking through some of my supplies in reorganizing the kit, I found these Vicky Boutin papers. These are two different papers that I fussy cut these things from. And that reminded me of a garden photo that I had printed out. And this is not from last year because I didn't do much gardening last year because for almost the entire month of June, I was gone. And that's the time when the garden would have needed some care. And I wasn't going to be here to do it. And I can't count on the kids to do it because they all have jobs and lives and stuff. So this had to be from year before last. And I printed the photo. I like that there's this kind of blue theme going on in the foreground, and then you look at the pots I have all of my veggies and herbs planted in, and they're all kinds of colors acquired at different times and for different purposes. And so I kind of pulled in some of the colors there. This is the color of that pot. This is the color of those pots. This green is the color of those. I don't think I have any pink or red, but there's pink and red in this Simple Stories. This is a simple story. I forget what the collection is, but I had pulled out a whole bunch of the 6x12 pieces to go in the We Are Memory Keepers version of Project Life. I forget what it's called. And they had some 6x12 sections, and so I was gonna use it for that. So I began looking for a background paper. I found this, and I don't know where it came from. I started to use it on this side because that's a little more neutral and easier to use, but I kind of like this side. And because I don't want to lose this, I'm going to cut this page in half, and then I'm going to weld the pages together with washi tape in the background. So let's do that. And because I'm thinking that now these colors are in my composition. That's one of the reasons for the pink there. I don't know if I have that color aqua, but I can probably work it into the mix. I'm gonna put this back in the kit, but I'm gonna put it on the polka dot side because I just noticed I have a scrap right here that I could probably use with that. So I'm going to store those together. And then I'll probably do something crazy like add a rainbow colored strip of paper, something goofy. So let's do this first of all. I'm going to do it on the upside down side. And I'm going to get this washi tape. I pulled all of those cardstock scraps from my kit, and they had been added to the kit. They were all, I think, bits that were sent in Vicky Boutin kits for album and layout projects. They were the matting cardstocks. And she always sends enough to do extra projects after the initial class. And sometimes I make it to those and sometimes I don't. So when I don't, I have those left over. Okay, so given that little juncture there, I'm gonna add in this as a nod to this blue theme that I have going on in the foreground. But I need to get it glued together, or get the adhesive added. Okay, so that divides the page in half. I'm going to line this up with the photo parallel with these lines, and I'm going to do it so that my title can go on here. And I'm going to use these Scrabble tile letters that came in a Mind the Scrap kit. And it's going to say dig, plant, water. It's a summer to-do list. So I'm going to go ahead and just mount this without foam because there are enough layers in there. And the way that I've done this, I've got some corners showing here with the size of that scrap, but I can cover that with embellishments. That's not a problem. So let me make sure I have room for the word plant. That should do it. If I have room for plant, I'll have room for water. And I'm gonna do this. And what I like about this is this blue shows right here by this blue, and then it gets repeated up there. There's no blue like that in this stripe, and there's none in this pattern paper, but I just added it to the page in a And I'm going to add this to somewhere on there. So before I go too much farther, let me, I did want a flower right here. And I want to put it on before I place the letters so that I kind of know where that goes. And this one will go, I think, I love the contrast between that orange and this turquoise. So I think I'm going to place it that way. And then I have a sunflower that I'm going to add in honor of John. Okay, so that works for that. And I've got this sunflower that I thought I might put, well, you know what? I may prefer it up here. I'm going to put the adhesive in the center where it's etched so that you really can't see it. And I have a couple of little leaves. That are going to go in there. Where did the other leaf go? There it is. Okay. Put that there. And the, I guess I didn't finish my thought about the idea of having fountain pens here seems appropriate when you're writing a summer to-do list, right? You might be writing it with that fountain pen. And I know that's hokey and literal and all of those things. Let's see, if I do plant here, do I have room for water here? What I ought to do is total up then that tells me where I need to put dig, because I want plant there, and there are 3 spaces, so dig will go here. Okay, let me just kind of start. Actually, I don't have to glue those on camera. I will leave them there. You'll know where they're going. And I'll do the gluing after the fact. I have this leaf. Okay, that could be what goes right there. That works for me. And I'm going to glue that orange bit down. This orange flower, it seems to be moving around. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue kind of right there. Then I'm going to lift this so it can slide under slightly. There we go. And I have this flower. I kind of like the idea of putting it up here with the words, because they're black and white and it's black and white. It's a different style of flower, and as I've mentioned before, that does not bother me because all manner of flowers end up in my garden. I have this blue and white bit that I thought I would add over in here. But I already put this flower down. So maybe I can slide it in this way. That's gonna work for me. Look, that's a pretty side too. This is just a little bit of the branding type strip that's that was on the 6x8 paper pad for, I think that's Color Study. Okay, these keep moving around. Let me do my little, this is kind of a ticket. And a ticket tag, sunglasses, and a butterfly. Does that sound like it might be a good combination? Let me get, and this ticket is cut from, by looking at the back of it, I think that's a Maggie Holmes collection, and all I have is a partial sheet of those tickets, and I think we got those in a Redefined Creative class one time that that we cut apart, and that was what was left from what I didn't cut apart. This says spring, and I'm gonna stick it in here. I'm using this because of this being the same color as that pen. So I told you I was going to add that color in here, and there it is. So I love scrapping with scraps, and I love mixing things that didn't come together and don't go together. In other words, there is a little butterfly. I had thought I would use this, but I'm not going to. And because it says this is a summer to-do list, and because I found this goofy little pair of sunglasses, I think it's a Rosie Studio piece of ephemera, I'm going to tuck it in with the flower, the black and white flower, and let it be something of a start a cluster there. I'll have it parallel there, and then I'm going to add this flare. It's an epoxy flare that I had somehow misplaced, and it ended up with some other things in my kit, and I thought, okay, why not use it for the kit? I have this little label tag. I don't think I need it. I had seen a couple things in here. I kind of liked this. And it could maybe go right there. Or right here, but that's kind of, I don't need it since I put that tag and that ticket. Well, actually, let's see if I can squeeze it in underneath the ticket. Let me bring the ticket out farther, up a little higher there, and I'm going to put it at a different angle so it's not parallel to that blue. And then I'm going to put a little bit of foam on here, and I'm done except for the letters, I think. I probably won't do a whole lot of journaling. I've already got lists upon lists upon lists of things to do in preparation for the garden, and I want to get some done before I go out of town on March 5th. And so I've got a working list. Okay. There. And I've got this butterfly flying up on that butterfly. I think that's kind of cute. And then I've got this thing that says fun. And I thought I'd add it over here to this side of the page as a subtitle. It is something else that has bounced around my craft room for a while. It got separated from its collection. I had used everything else on the page, I guess. So now I'm gonna go glue all of these on, and that's what my finished page is going to look like, but with the letters being, you know, straight. I forget where they go. I'll figure that out. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned. On Wednesday, I will have a video revealing my kit, showing you what I've added in the way of embellishments. I'm not adding any papers in. I think I have enough papers I have a couple paper pads in there, and I've got enough neutral-ish papers in there that I think I can get by. I always reserve the right to use a white or black cardstock, or any cardstock for that matter. And when I take this little, my holder on my trip, I will tuck in probably some more cardstock. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.